Good morning to all my beautiful listeners today. Thank you for tuning in to the Self-Love Witch podcast. It is your host, Kimberly, back again with another banger. What do I think? I'm making a music video. Welcome in. Today I am talking about, as you can tell by the title, it's another Soft Girl series episode. Today we're going to be talking about choosing your tribe, finding your tribe, but also, I want to talk about how to identify the snakes in the grass. I want to get really in depth with that because it is something that I have been currently experiencing. I want to say 2023 was the year that I was really being revealed all of the snakes that was slithering in my garden, honey. And when I tell you, it was the people you would not expect. It was the people that were a lot of people that were closest to me. And I learned so much about just how to identify stuff and how to not just let things just slide by and think they were just, minor inconveniences or just minor situations. We're going to get into detail, but I want to say this before I begin. Whatever it is that your spirit is telling you about a person, believe it. Believe it, especially when you have instances and situations that back up that gut feeling. But let me get into this today. So, y'all know I'm always talking about pro-soft life. The soft girl era, and I don't even think it's just an era, but I highlight it as an era because it's such an awakening that is being widespread. I really love it because I feel like I said, women, we need to learn to rest more. We need to learn to de-stress our lives more. Because women, we tend to think the more that we carry, the higher the stress, the bigger the load, that we are worth more as mothers, as wives, as women in general. We need to feel that we need to carry completely crazy amounts of responsibilities to be valuable or to feel purposeful in our existence. And I'm not saying that you shouldn't strive to have responsibilities or to, reach those goals or to feel purposeful, whatever makes you feel good about yourself. However, I do want to highlight that I feel like women really do overextend ourselves a lot, and we take on a lot more than we need to just because of our empathy, our natural inclination to be nurturing. And, it's got to stop. And so right now we're talking about how it's got to stop when it comes to our friendships and our tribes and our lovers and the people that we choose to be within close proximity of us, the people that we choose to extend our love upon, and the people that we choose to, receive their love. It's very important to really think about those people. Because I feel like a lot of times, we think that we know people. And the truth is, you can know someone in and out. People do shift. People do change. People go through life. People shift their perspectives. Their morals shift. Their integrity can even shift. I always say, let time and history not be a defining factor for why you are remaining close with someone. I always say, let their integrity, their morals, and their character always be the first thing that you always go for when it comes to why you are friends or why you are with the person. I don't care if y'all known each other for 10 years. Have they been consistently, a good person to you for 10 years? You know what I'm saying? Of course, we all make mistakes. We all fall short. That's not what I'm referring to. I'm referring to situations that completely betray trust, completely betray respect, completely betray livelihood and safety and, big things of that. And so, yeah, let me get into it. So our journey towards our truest self, to our softest selves, it's going to anger a lot of people. It's going to confuse a lot of people, especially people who are so used to seeing you in a specific light. Which can cause envy. It can cause disharmony. It could cause people to feel the need to detach from you because, sometimes people just do not align any longer. The frequencies no longer match. I've had friends that when I was completely distracted and I was completely just out doing whatever, those were the right groups of people to be around because we had a lot in common. We had a lot to talk about. We had similar interests. We had similar hobbies. But now that I'm on a plane of where I am really focused on leveling up myself, leveling up my life, being very focused, being disciplined, working on that aspect, working on, business goals, working on bettering myself in every way imaginable. I noticed that we don't have a lot to talk about, especially when it comes to like drama. We don't have a lot to talk about when it comes to that because I really separated myself from that. And I feel like that's a big key ingredient to leveling up your life. You really have to separate from the lower energies that completely do not serve anything that you are wanting. I feel like when you go into that soft life journey, you have to make a decision of really trying to de-stress your life and to limit all confusion. The best thing to do, I'm the type of person where I just like to start off cold turkey a lot when it comes to just the way I want to start doing things. But everyone's different. But when it comes to just energy and engaging with people, I feel like anything that does not have the answer yes to this question, typically needs to be just let go immediately. So I always ask myself, I'm like, is this going to help me in any way? Is this profitable in any kind of way, energetically, spiritually, emotionally? Is this going to help me at the end of the day? Is it something that's going to feed my spirit? Is it something that is feeding the woman I want to become? If that answer is, if I can't find a single inkling of an answer to a yes to that question, I'm not doing it. So that, of course, goes into play with conversations. I don't want to have conversations that have nothing to do with really like growing myself or, assisting with solving a problem or assisting with making sense of a situation. I just feel like there's a lot of unnecessary things that a lot of us tend to cling on to and give a lot of our energy to. And it could seem like we have to, but a lot of the times there are things that we just willingly attach ourselves to, which really distract us, that have no greater purpose besides, feeding our ego or feeding some type of something that we have going on, right? So I feel like, finding our solid tribe and finding the people that align with us is important. And I feel like we should always evaluate our tribe. Always. I feel like it's good to evaluate a tribe. Just like, you're at work and you get your yearly evaluation. I feel like we should do a yearly evaluation of our tribe. I really think so. Because I recently experienced a situation within my tribe where I learned that there was a shift in energy. And I think that's just a normal thing where people go through things, people do change, people have different ways that they choose to move with you. Like, that's just the truth. It sounds crazy, but I've experienced some people that I thought would never switch up. And when they switched up, it was like drastically. You know what I mean? So, and I feel like a big part of that made me understand that, you cannot be attached to people to an extent to where you start to question yourself when they choose to do what they do. I feel like the art of detachment, when I studied it, it's just a beautiful concept. I try to make sure I keep that in mind, but also make sure I don't get so consumed with the thought of someone being temporary that I don't fully invest or fully enjoy their presence. I feel like you kind of know when someone is temporary versus when someone is someone that is going to be of significant value to your life. So I always feel like it's good to evaluate our tribe, because the company we keep is such a key factor within our peace, within our success, and within our soft life journey. Within my tribe, there should be no confusion about where we stand with each other. There should be no confusion about the loyalty we have between each other. There should be no confusion about anything, really. I feel like your tribe is your tribe. They call it your tribe for a reason. And I was definitely the type of person that I knew a lot of people. I know a lot of people. I'm a very social butterfly. However, I'm very aware that just because you can engage and you can laugh or you can go out with people, that does not make them your friend. And I used to throw that friend word around so loosely. Well, that's my friend, that's my friend, that's my friend. And then I realized, you're very frivolous with that word, Kim. And you're very frivolous with that word, friend. Because last time I checked, even jobs have a probation period. You know what I'm saying? A 90-day probation period. When I'm dating women, getting to know women, I take my time with learning them. And that amount of serious intention that I put into that, I learned I had to do the same with people that I even went out to brunch with, or people that I had simple conversations with. I am so weary now of the company I keep. I do not play. Especially recently, because I know y'all can feel this energy in the air. I feel like the energy in the air for right now, I feel like there's more hostility, there's more aggression than ever. I feel like people cannot hide. Okay, I've always said that. Since, the pandemic, I feel like the masks have truly fallen off of people. People cannot hide their spirits. People cannot hide anything. And I feel like that's more so because when you are spiritually gifted and spiritually inclined, you do have when you're secluded and you're within your own energy. I feel like when we finally came out of hiding after that pandemic, we were really all able to see each other for who we really were, because we had time to settle into our own energy. We had time to settle into our inner work. I feel like a lot of people did a lot of healing work during the pandemic because we had nothing else to do. We had to sit with ourselves. I feel like that was such a beautiful time for a lot of people. But a lot of people took advantage of that to heal themselves. However, I know a lot of people did also have a lot of struggling moments. I understand that was, it's a hard time for everyone. And to anyone who has lost their family during that time, I extend my heart out to you. And, I extend and I hope for healing for you and your family, because that was a very, very difficult time for a lot of people. But I do feel like after we got out of that time period, it became easier to see people for who they were naturally, very easily. I feel like a lot of people saw the veil lifted during that time. So let me get into this, because I am going on a ramble right now. I have a whole list right here. So one thing I want to say is a key ingredient to this soft gal life and the soft gal recipe is to distress your life. I always talk about that. That means to identify and remove people, places, and things that feed the stress in your life. So, I don't care if we have to make a list. We got to figure out the people, places, and things that bring stress. We can figure out the ways we can either annihilate those things, or if they aren't things that can be annihilated, there are things that can be worked around. There can be boundaries set. There can be a limited engagement to your comfortability, to where you feel like you are not having to sacrifice your peace or your joy or your bliss for anything outside of yourself. So, like I said, lo and behold, I always speak on this because it's such a real thing. You want to look out for envious families, lovers, and friends. I can have a whole episode on this by itself, which I will, because the soft girl era, when you're de-stressing your life and your life is flowing peacefully, and despite all the work that you have to put in to have this kind of mentality and to have this kind of softness and flow in your life, we know the work that goes into this. This is not people really think this life is about laying back, sipping some wine. That's maybe nice. That's nice. However, do you know the amount of work and warfare that goes into literally deprogramming your mind from being in survival mode and literally switching up your entire mindset to where you learn to love the things that are good for you, the people that are good for you, especially when you grew up in an environment where you were so used to the opposite. It's a mini war that really is going on, when you have to literally reprogram your mind. It takes a lot of mental work, a lot of spiritual work, even a lot of physical work, especially when you're trying to, better your health and things like that. But we know the work that goes into that. But people look out from the outside and they think that you are not deserving. They feel like, oh, you think you're better because you're genuinely happy and because you genuinely have morals and things that you stand on, and you express that and you want better for people. A lot of people get intimidated by that kind of energy. And I feel like when you're self-aware, because even me, I can admit, there are times when I'm being told some real stuff and I'm like, I can identify it now because I've had time to evaluate myself and I'm older now. But take it back a few years ago, if you would tell me something about myself that was actually true or trying to uplift me to do better, choose better for myself, I would get offended and it would come off as if you were belittling me or trying to make me feel bad about myself. But being older and being wiser now, I realize whenever someone is trying to tell you that you can do better, you can have better, you need to change your mind, you need to decide, that is a form of genuine love. When you have people who are just yes women, yes men all around you all the time, who never tell you no, who never correct you, who never let you know when you're in the wrong, that's when that's when that tribe is kind of dangerous. You know what I'm saying? Because there is no way, I'm gonna let you know right now, there's no way you're always making the best choice. There is no way that you're always right 100% of the time. There is no way. There is no way. And your tribe is supposed to be people that see you, hear you, value you. And because of those key factors, they're able to assist within your story, assist within your journey. They're able to be a friend. They're able to be a shoulder. That is what a tribe is. But you want to look out for the envious people who don't really have your best interest at heart. And there are key ways to identify things like this. And I feel like one key way to identify this is always check their eyes. I feel like the eyes are the windows to the soul. The eyes can really let you know how a person is really feeling about you. The eyes can really let you know. So it can really, really let you know. So I always say there are different kind of eyes. I always look for obsessive eyes and soulless eyes. And I can go day for days about these. So soulless eyes, I feel like those are people, if you ever looked at someone's eyes before, and when you look at them, they just don't seem to have any spark within them. They don't seem to have any excitement, any emotional reactions. I feel like you see this within a lot of narcissists too, and a lot of sociopaths. A lot of them, their eyes don't show emotion. When they smile, it's not or when they engage with you, there's not a emotion within their eyes. And that's something to really look out for, because your face can lie, your eyes cannot. And I know you guys know what I'm talking about, because if you ever had to smile for a picture and you didn't really feel like smiling for the picture, but you just did because it was a picture. If you look at your eyes within that, it was a very detached type of moment. Your eyes were detached from your emotion, and you could tell, versus a genuinely happy picture of yourself. You can tell the difference. So I want to make sure we're looking out for those things when we're engaging with strangers and engaging with people. That's a key way to identify if someone can be a possible snake in your garden and you need to behead that. Okay, I don't promote violence. only when absolutely necessary. However, in defending yourself. However, yeah, you have to be keen on that. Soulless eyes go hand in hand with that. I dated someone who, when I looked in their eyes, my stomach turned because I could just see the darkness. And I feel like when you're spiritually gifted, you know exactly what I'm talking about. Which is why I feel like a lot of us do avoid a lot of eye contact when we're just out in social settings, because we don't want to intake that energy, because it does have a stomach turning kind of effect. It's like, oh my gosh, but nevertheless, you're able to see it when you look someone in their eyes. So when you do choose to engage with someone, I feel like when you're just passing someone, okay, fine, you don't have to look at them. But when someone is engaging with you, when they're wanting to have an energetic exchange, when they're trying to learn you as a person, look in those eyes and look good and hard, so you can really tell what kind of soul they have, because the eyes will never lie to you. I promise they'll never lie to you. And watch for body language within people. And I don't want to make this just about strangers, because this could be people that you consider your friends too. I feel like a lot of times when we become friends with people, or we become lovers with someone, they tend to skip a lot of our onboarding, hiring process because of them validating a certain aspect of ourselves that we may need at that time. There's always a reason why we connect with people, because they give us something that we need in that time. And sometimes, the things that we need are things that are feeding a wound that, because it is going unchecked or untreated, we don't realize that that's not really a real friend. That's just like a trauma bond in a way, or it's a way to soothe, our inner child in a way. So I feel like it's very important to evaluate the reasons why you engage with particular people, or the reasons why you consider people your friends, or the reasons why you're with that woman or that man. You really have to evaluate why I chose this person, what this person actually brings to my life, and things of that nature. So within your tribe, right? Your tribe is an integral piece, an integral piece to your success. So, things to also watch out for, read their energy, observe first, engage later. When I tell y'all the art of being silent, and this is particularly about checking your tribe, picking the correct tribe, but this episode I'm really getting into depth into really evaluating your tribe and identifying snake energy. Okay, so observe first, engage later. The art of being silent, y'all. I'm gonna give a little story time. So I had a friend that we were close for a period of time, and then things started to get a little odd once they got a partner, because the partner was insecure about our friendship, right? I had no idea. When we would engage face to face, I had no idea that the energy was there, which to me is a complete red flag, because how dare you be in my face and feel a way about me, and not even want me around, but you smile in my face. I just, rest in peace to all of the women and men who have lost their lives just being around people who secretly had animosity towards them they knew nothing about. Things like that twists my stomach, because it's just crazy when you're being a genuine person and you think that energy is being reciprocated on all fronts, and it's not. And they don't mind pretending and acting as if it is. That to me is the weirdest stuff, and I don't trust people who do that. So nevertheless, I didn't know this at the time. I didn't know the energy was not genuine, right? But there was one particular situation where, me and my tribe were all supposed to get up together. We were all supposed to have double dates or whatever. And because of this friend's partner's insecurities, they purposefully excluded me from the event. And, I did not expect this from the friend that I had at the time. But what was funny about the situation, the art of being silent, I didn't even know that it occurred, but the person kind of slipped up. She kind of slipped up when talking to me that they went. I was like, oh, okay. And conveniently, it was on FaceTime. And I love when I can confront somebody on FaceTime or in person, because you can't hide. Energy can't lie. I'm watching for everything. I'm looking at your body language. I'm looking at your eyes. I'm looking at what you say, what you don't say. I'm looking at how you stutter, how you pause in your communication. I'm looking for everything. I know when you're lying, right? So, we're talking, and I'm realizing when they're explaining the situation to me, they're trying their best to make it seem as if it wasn't intentional, right? And I'm sitting here, I'm like, all right, girl. I try to get for the benefit of the doubt. I'm like, okay, if you felt like you needed to do that for your relationship, I'm trying to think like that. I'm like, okay, you feel like you need to do that for your relationship. I would never do that to one of my friends, but that's you. You do what you need to do. That's how you operate. That was red flag number one. But red flag, the top red flag was, watch out for when you realize that people are trying to hide things from you, and people are trying their best to lack accountability, and to make you seem like the issue in situations when you're clearly not the issue. Watch out for people who lack accountability. And watch out for people who get upset when they are held accountable and when they're told that they're wrong. And watch out for people who look for reasons to dislike you, and don't care to confirm, people who don't look to validate their perceptions of you. I feel like it's respectable if someone feels a way towards me, or if there's a situation occurring and we're close, let me know. Let me know how you're feeling. Let me know how you're perceiving things, so I can either validate or invalidate and be completely honest about, the energy that we have going on between us. But for you to assume things and to legit run with it, yeah, it's giving, you were looking for a reason to not be cool with me. And if that's what you need to do to feel okay and to not have a guilty conscience, because I feel like a lot of people do that these days. A lot of people do things to just not feel guilty and to not have to deal with shame. But at the end of the day, we're all grown. I know at the end of the day, when you sit alone and you think about the situation, you were wrong, right? So I say all that to say, be mindful of people who find reasons to move weird with you. And it may not make any sense, but it makes a lot of sense to them. But that's simply because they were looking for reasons to dislike you anyway. And you never really know when it can occur or who it will occur with, but be mindful of that, because that's something I experienced, and it really gave me a strong lesson that people will look for ways to dislike you. They will keep finding reasons, especially when they're set on them not wanting you around, or if they're set on some type of insecurity or some type of issue that they have within themselves. They're gonna find reasons to dislike you. I get it. It doesn't matter what it is, because there were so many situations that were so small, but they were taken in such big, grandiose, they were turned into such big, grandiose issues because of them striving to not like me. And I'm not talking about the friend, I'm talking about the partner. But of course, if your partner is feeling away, I understand you're going to try to validate them. But in this essence, I was a complete victim. And yeah, it was kind of crazy. It was just like, wow. So instead of you being accountable and, checking that relationship that was not secure, you instead turned it around to make it seem like I was the issue, when I wasn't the issue. There was just a threat there. There was no secure attachment between you both. So when it came to friends, so it was easy to just paint me as the villain and make me seem that I needed to be completely ostracized from the group because you guys cannot handle your issues separately. But that's tea for another day. But But as you know, I'm always going to pop my mouth and say what's real. These are not things that are not known. So, yes. But nevertheless, I ended that friendship because there has to be a certain level of respect and a certain level of honor when it comes to the relationships that you claim to value in your life. You know, there has to be a certain amount of respect, and there has to be a certain amount of communication. You know, when you lack those things, we're grown. We're very grown. We're approaching 30. Okay. The people in my group, you know, and, you know, certain things like that are just non-negotiables. There needs to be good communication. There needs to be communication if there is confusion. You can't just be running with everything you're told. If you do that easily, you've been looking for a reason to do that from the get-go. That's what I believe. That's wholeheartedly what I believe. If you do not come to your friends and check and see where you guys stand, you just run with anything, that goes to show you're not really their friend. And I really need that to be known. So if you guys have experienced that, those people are not your friend. Trust and believe that. And they will find any reason to fall out with you, to avoid accountability, or to avoid any kind of conflict. So let's keep going. So you want to watch how people move with others and how they move with you. Do you get the same respect? And that goes hand in hand, because, you know, if you can watch a person give a certain person a certain level of respect, a certain level of honest communication, a certain level of just human decency, and they give you their minimum, understand where you stand with that person. And that person is not your tribe, okay? And, you know, if someone is treating someone else well, that doesn't mean they're going to treat you well. That does not mean that. It does not mean that. You know, you want to watch how others, you just want to watch their character. Nevertheless, though, you want to watch their character. You know, just because they treat this person well does not mean they're going to treat you well. Just because they treat that person horribly doesn't mean they're going to treat you horribly. But in the same sense, you want to watch for patterns, though. You want to watch for patterns. You want to watch how they legit operate, because it will tell you a lot of things about who a person is and how they move. So, again, I want to roll back to the observe first, engage later. The art of being silent. The reason I say that is because when you know some information, I promise, I used to be a very confrontational person. I still am very confrontational when it comes to standing up for what's right. But when I notice, you have to engage differently with different kinds of people. You have people who are purposefully, intentionally non-confrontational, and they move very passive-aggressively, which I cannot handle passive-aggressive people. I need you to say what you mean, what you feel, and let's get into it, and let's get the situation. Because if not, I don't deal well with the lingering energy. I don't know how people do it. You won't catch me lingering on or holding on to things. I will either approach it within the same day, the same time period, or just let you go, to be quite honest. But the reason I say the art of being silent is so important is because when you take in a bunch of facts, it's kind of like building up a case, right? Sometimes people who have been gaslit a lot, or their emotions haven't been validated a lot, you know, there's a need to gather information, gather facts, gather documents before you present your case, which I'm all for that, because you will know why. People will do the craziest things, do the weirdest things, and then when you approach them about it, they will act as if you're tripping. They will act as if you were just misinterpreting the situations. But when you have exhibit A through F validating this situation, and when you have exhibit A, B, C, D, E, F, G, exhibit G through Z, completely going hand in hand with situation 2, you really have a way to really prove to yourself that you're not playing about yourself and that you know what you're talking about, but also to show them, let's not sit here and insult my intelligence. I know what I'm feeling, and I know what I'm seeing. Observe first. If you need to gather your facts, gather your evidence, that's fine. Okay, lawyer. But when I tell you, observe first is key. Observe. And that goes with even strangers. Observe first. Observe. Observe. I used to be the person to just walk up and just talk and engage with people. I observe first now. I observe. I want to watch your energy. I want to see the way you engage with people. I want to see everything. And that will let me know if I want to talk. I used to be, it didn't matter. I didn't have to engage anything. We catch a vibe in a conversation. Oh, I rock with you. It's not like that anymore. I had to learn to have better practices of spiritual hygiene, better practices of communicating and engaging with strangers and people. Very much, I think I was the type of kid to where, like, my mom had to pull me off the street one time and have a whole conversation with me because I really just talked to strangers, and it was not smart. And it was not okay. You know, I was a little kid talking to strangers all the time, engaging in whole conversations. So yeah, that's something to, you know, watch out for yourself. But, you know, do these evaluations of your tribe. Make sure your essence is being enjoyed versus someone just enjoying your light. It's a key difference. When someone's enjoying your essence, they are enjoying, you know, everything that you come with. They're enjoying every part of your being. They're enjoying your quirks, your kinks, the flaws, the beauty of you. You know what I'm saying? Versus someone who's enjoying your light, they're just enjoying the energy that you bring them in that moment. And you know the key difference. You know, you have people who only hit you up when they need something. You have people who only contact you when they need some type of validation, some type of healing, some type of conversation, versus people who just want to be around you because they enjoy your essence. They enjoy you as a person. They love your presence as who you are to them. You know what I mean? You know the key difference, and those are the people that deserve the most energy. That's your tribe. You know what I mean? So be mindful of that. Identify the energy vampires versus the actual friends versus the actual lovers, because you have friends and lovers and people you meet that really just are with you because of what you provide for them. And, you know, don't get so caught up on materials when I say provide, because a lot of the times the thing that people are going for and completely latched onto is not your money. It's not your status. It's not any of that. It's the light. It's the energy that you bring to them. And I feel like you'll always notice who the energy vampires are by doing this one technique, right? Pull back your energy a little bit. Real friends will be like, are you okay? How are you feeling? Is there anything I can do? Yada, yada, yada. Versus energy vampires, they get upset. They feel away when you pull your energy back. They feel away when you need to have time to yourself. They feel away when you have other obligations. They feel away when they are not receiving the energy that they want from you, because they are using your energy as a supply. And everyone gets mad when a piece of their supply is taken. And, you know, and there's a thin line between, a solid line between, friends feeling, upset. But I genuinely though, I've never felt upset about a friend being busy and not having time, because I know where we stood, and I knew that at the end of the day we would connect. And friends, as adults, we go through periods of time where we are not going to speak. We have lives, we have obligations, we have responsibilities. That's okay. I know that we are genuinely connected, and we will connect when we connect. Versus people who got upset with me because I couldn't be around, and instead of communicating with me, moved in such weird ways. Yeah, cut off, okay? That's not a friend. Be very mindful of that. That's an energy vampire who got mad because they could no longer suck from your supply. And, you have to be mindful of that, because that's the kind of energy that I just do not respect, because one, it's weird. Two, it's giving very much so possessive. I do not like possessive friends. I understand friends can be territorial, yes, but in the same breath, there needs to be a healthy line between there, and there needs to be a very healthy, very, very healthy understanding when it comes to our time and when it comes to how we delegate it. And jealousy within friendships, I feel like it's not healthy. I don't think it's healthy at all. I don't think any jealousy is healthy. Feeling a bit territorial, jealousy is a natural feeling that can occur, but you do have to evaluate why you feel that way, because it's an indicator that you don't feel secure within a connection. And sometimes it can be just you, because you have a different way of perceiving relationships versus the other person, and you have to evaluate if you're looking at things from a healthy perspective, right? So, aside from that, you want to make sure you're feeling seen and heard. Watch how they speak of you and to you. If the people in your tribe or the people that you're around are talking down on you, those are not people that you want to be around. And don't get me started, because those friends, or whatever you call them, whatever, I don't call them friends, whatever people that you come around that kind of always nitpick at you when you guys are out and about, hanging out, or just kind of always in your business, unprovoked and uninvited, or just kind of always making little statements about what you're wearing, who you're dating, just anything, just constant pics. That is an indicator of obsessive energy, and get rid of that energy immediately. Because I'm telling you, two things are going to occur. One or two things. One, eventually they're going to reveal that they're obsessed with you. And that can either go within a good way of like, okay, identifying it, but no, I don't want to deal with you. Or that can go in a bad way where friends become obsessive and territorial, and stalkers. Don't get it mistaken, because people who you consider friends can become stalkers too, because you were their friend, but they were more so obsessed with you. They weren't really your friend. There are many instances of that I've seen, and that have actually occurred to me. You have people who want to connect with you because they like you, and they will pretend to be your friend. So be mindful of that, especially when you're a pretty woman. You have to be mindful that there are people who only want to engage with you because you are pretty, or because you are attractive to them, and the friendships are not built on any strong, real foundation of true connection. Watch out for that. Watch out for that. That's like a key factor. Watch out for that, because I've realized I am social, but I'm very, very selective with who I hang out with. I get invited to a lot of things, but I don't particularly go to a lot of them because I feel like there is no basis of a real connection there. I didn't really feel a real genuine vibe, and I'm not for just being around people just because it needs to make a lot of sense. Things have to make sense now. But yeah, please watch out for that, because it can honestly save someone's life, because that energy, that's, people who are always trying to pick problems with you, but they consider or call themselves your friend, or people who are just always tending to kind of make things a bit difficult for you, or there's always drama that's being brought to you. Those are not your friends. I'm telling you, those are not your friends. Those are not your friends. That is someone who legit gets off of watching you a bit off of your balance, who watches you, who enjoys seeing you, kind of, just not feeling completely secure, or, that type of stuff. If you're a friend who will bring me a lot of drama every other time I talk to you, you putting me in something, or supposedly I'm in something, you're not bringing me no peace. No. See, now you gotta go, because you're not assisting in this is ridiculous. This is how people pass early from health complications, because you got friends that don't bring you any type of peace or health or joy. You got friends that bring you drama, You always fighting. You're always confronting some new person every other month because of some he said, she said stuff. You're getting your blood pressure all worked up. Now you're 45. And now you got to sit here and eat bananas to try to lower your blood pressure. And it's just, you know what I'm saying? It's best to really just think ahead when it comes to people you engage with, because, they play a key part in your health and a key part in your happiness in the long run. Identify the snakes in your life. That could be the reason your garden is probably bearing no fruit right now. That could be the reason why you can't even see your garden. That may be the reason why your grass too high and you can't plant any seeds because you got too many weeds. You know what I'm saying? So really pay attention to the people within your energy circle, if anything. You have limitations when it comes to strangers, but the people that you engage with on a daily basis, the people that you engage with consistently, those are the people that you really need to be checking the energy for. And I don't care, do an energy check all the time. Make sure y'all are eye to eye. Make sure you guys are seeing each other, hearing each other. Make sure the relationship is being nurtured. Make sure there is healthy communication. Make sure there is healthy perceptions, healthy mindsets on things like jealousy, or healthy mindsets on things of everything actually. So, make sure they're supportive of you. Make sure they communicate. Make sure they are not secretive. Make sure they're open. Make sure that they treat you like a friend. If they are your lover, they need to treat you like a friend and a lover. Both, not just one. Okay? If your lover is treating their friends better than they're treating you, absolutely not. There needs to be you need to be treated with utmost respect, utmost priority. You know what I mean? But in a way that's, of course, healthy and makes sense. You know what I mean? So, check your tribe, check the energy around you, and don't be afraid to cut some things off if you need to. It's perfectly okay. Get the snakes out your garden. They gotta go. And yeah, I really went in on this episode because I do not play about that, y'all. Any energy that is not genuine, immediately get out of here. Immediately. I don't know if y'all ever saw that video. Cruising for a bruising. Immediately get out of here. Okay. But yes, guys, I hope this helps someone today. Don't be afraid to confront or take on evaluating the energy. And don't be afraid if you realize that just about everyone is not your energetic match right now and you may have to start over. It's okay. But it's better to be alone and in solitude than to be around people that make you feel alone, to be around people that don't make you feel supported, to be around people that don't support the life that you want for yourself. It's better to be around just you than around people that hinder you or around people that don't genuinely care for your well-being and for your happiness. So thanks so much for tuning in. Hope you guys have a magical, beautiful day. Stay soft, stay pretty. And yes, you guys, I'll be back next Sunday with another episode. We're going to start doing video podcasts. So I'm getting the microphone and everything, y'all. I'm getting the backdrop and everything prepared. So, we'll be having some sessions soon. Follow the TikTok. I made a TikTok for the podcast as well, the Self-Love Witch podcast. I'll be posting there and on YouTube. And yes, you guys, if you want to support the podcast, please feel free to do so for monthly donations. I support all of you. I love when you guys engage with me. Please keep doing so. You guys literally give me life. I love all of y'all. Y'all are amazing. Stay beautiful, okay? Stay light. Stay unfazed. Do not get provoked by miserable hyenas, okay? And just stay magical, okay? All right. Talk to you guys soon. Bye.